I'm really, really excited to talk about Oppenheimer, and I'm really glad that we decided to wait just essentially under a week to talk about it, so it's still fresh in our minds, and that it's even more peculiar how we chose to show the respect to Mission Impossible 7 to come home a mere minutes and like, we have to talk about this movie right now while we can still think about it. And then Oppenheimer, like, you know what? We'll talk about it in a week or so. Yeah, we'll just really digest with it. We don't need to have it fresh in our head for this one. No. It's much more important we talk about Mission Impossible 7 ad nauseum and really get that one fresh in our minds. This one, take it or leave it.
This is one of those kind of movies you just gotta marinate with this one.
Gotta marinate with it? Yeah, it was a pretty good movie to marinate with. It was a pretty phenomenal movie. I think you need more movies set in which it's just really about America, and it's just, some dirty commies or some force where it's like, we want them gone. I just need a lot more patriotic films, I think is what it comes down to.
It was interesting. In the Mission Impossible, when you were saying how you're tired of all these, like, computer enemies and just, like, these weird
it was
things.
nice getting back to whole commies and Nazis. Yeah, that stuff does, or that kind of patriotism puts blood to my cock, all right? That's the kind of thing I want to see in a movie theater. I don't need to see some vague, a group of people who want... No, that's not... No, I want commies and Nazis, all right? Simple things for simple people, okay?
I listened to something about the guys that actually worked on the bomb today, and one of the scientists was saying how when they look at it nowadays, they think about it, and if you break the math down, each scientist, so there was 12 scientists, but the number is mathematically those who died because of the bomb, each scientist is responsible for like 100,000 people, and he's like, but would I do it again? You're goddamn right I would, because it had to get done to make it right, and that's what makes it great to have that kind of movie against us, get back in that mindset, what it means to be the great American dream. It reminds you what's great and what's right and everything else. Dude, there was such a good point there, and I took way too long to say it. I'm really sorry, man. There was such a good... I had something so rich to say that I was going to tie it all back in.
Yeah, so... About Oppenheimer, whatever the fuck that was.
That was about Oppenheimer. Just it was such a roundabout way of saying something I forgot about. I'm so sorry.
How about you sit down and you stop walking around and talk? How about you just sit down and stay in your lane? Because apparently you bit off more than you could chew there. Because you started talking and some words started coming in and out, and I just started looking at you like, is this guy talking about something? What's this guy talking about?
But the scary part was the longer I started talking, the more I could hear myself talking, and I was more aware that I was talking.
It's weird, too, because usually the more you talk, the more you be able to say and explain yourself. Somehow you have this real gift of just the more you say, the less sense you make.
Yeah, RFK is the voice gets stronger the longer he talks.
Right.
Mine just gets dumber.
Sick reference. Really cool reference. RFK's voice gets stronger. Well, mine gets weaker.
I thought it was a good reference. Fuck you, man. Get on with your story.
I don't know, man. I like the movie a lot. I'm just looking at my notes right now. I was taking... It was honestly hard to even take notes in the theater. I didn't want to stop watching the movie,
I found it hard to take notes because I had nothing really negative to say, and I feel like the only thing I know how to do is rip a movie. It's really hard to actually just sit down and enjoy.
Well, most of my notes aren't even notes. Most of my notes are just like I wrote down and love David Krumholtz. That's not really a note. That's just kind of a comment.
I wish he was in more movies.
I wish he was in more movies. Yeah, sitting there, I just wrote down Naked Brothers Band. The guy was just there.
Wait, let's talk about that. What the fuck is this movie with this cast?
Naked Brothers Band shows up. Fucking Josh Hartnett absolutely kicked ass, and he's awesome. He's not as weird, but I guess that's not really keeping in line with the whole Naked Brothers Band. Josh Peck is a better follow up to that one. Like, why is Josh Peck in this movie?
It was distracting. So it made me think of Drake Bell. Couldn't even think about the movie. I just kept thinking about Drake Bell the whole time.
I didn't even think about him. I just kept thinking about how much I don't like Josh Peck.
I thought it was a funny.
Whenever it cut back to him, I just kept thinking like, really? This guy's in the movie?
Apparently,
the guy from Turner and Hooch on Disney Plus.
And one of the directors of Uncut Gems apparently was one of the scientists in it too.
Cool. One of the brothers or whatever?
Yeah.
Why not both of them?
I don't know, but only one of them managed
Christopher Nolan's like, I appreciate one of your abilities to direct. The other one can go fuck himself.
That's basically what happened.
Well, can't he just stand next to me in the movie since we're kind of a duo? No. Only you can be in it.
Look, I already got Josh Peck in this thing. I can't. All right,
this whole time movie's actually about breaking up duos. I have one of the Naked Brothers bands. I have one of the brothers from that movie about Robert Pattinson fucking a dog. I have one part of Drake and Josh. All right. I wanted to get Jonah Hill in the movie. All right, but he couldn't do it, and I hate Channing Tatum. And everyone's like, interesting. Okay, Chris Nolan hates Channing Tatum. I didn't know that. It makes sense the more you think about it. They don't think they'd be friends. But I don't know. Josh Hartnett kicked ass, like I said. I kind of thought you would have like responded in that pause for a second instead of just leaving back all to me, because I kind of like there was a point where you'd finally speak and you just did it. So I'm like, I gotta go back to my notes.
Dude, every time I've spoken, it's been the wrong dumb thing.
Sick.
So I was
and when you don't talk, it's also the wrong time not to talk. So again, it's just that you're a straight shooter. No. Get off your phone. Now I'm going to talk. Okay.
I wasn't gonna start talking.
That was the part to toss it back to you, and you didn't do it. So now I'll toss it back to you the next time. Maybe you'll be up for it. I was honestly a little shocked too. The whole Florence Pugh relationship was pretty shitty. That's something I can critique about the movie.
Yeah. And
I was also honestly impressed and confused with just how fast, Bobby got her clothes off. Because I didn't get the relationship. Maybe you know what? Maybe I'm just not that, wise in the game of love. Maybe. But the whole like, don't call me, don't bring me fucking flowers, don't call me, don't bring me flowers. Like, this is really stupid and annoying and not interesting and not important.
I didn't get any
and
of that.
Honestly, I don't think I get that she told him to do this and blah fucking blah and everything else. And there's a connection. Oh, she's a communist and whatnot. Whatever it was, I don't care. Nothing she did in the movie at all made me think, yup, the way that relationship really impacted the way Oppenheimer went about doing this bomb thing. Not once did it, to the point where it's like, just don't show it to me. And honestly, all right, for anyone who wants to this is a podcast that says some heinous shit, some vulgar things. I'm saying to omit the nudity, okay? Now, that doesn't buy me some sort of leverage for at least the next 60 to 75, questionable remarks I may make. I don't know what will. Okay, that seems like a pretty fair exchange rate to me. I'm saying to forego the attractive woman being naked on the screen, all right? Why? Not because I'm disinterested in it. Of course not. I don't want to be rude, because I don't think it serves the purpose of the story really well, and I also don't think the performance was anything.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen Florence Pugh act, but I've heard for the last couple of years how great of an actress she is. I finally see her act in something, and you know what I thought? Would have preferred an extra Emily Blunt scene. Would have preferred two extra Emily Blunt scenes.
Yeah, we could have gotten rid of all of the Florence Pugh scenes and just made more Emily Blunt scenes.
Yeah, just opened up the Emily Blunt scene. The scene that actually was interesting, where he went to the whole to that dinner party and was like, "Hey, you got a husband? You want to suck my dick anyway?" That part.
I mean, your husband's invited.
You could put that in the beginning of the movie and add two more scenes of Emily Blunt throughout the middle instead of having this dumbass Florence Pugh shit going on.
I also kind of think we could have omitted the "I'm poisoning the apple" thing.
That was a little dumb. That's true.
I thought that was going to come back at the end.
The movie was like 3 acts. They were all felt so separate but good. The first one was obviously the whole like Benny Hill poisoning an apple routine where he was just running and sliding across like a fucking risky business. And then the second act was the whole making of the bomb thing. And then the third act was the deposition, which I think was my favorite part of the movie. I really got off on the deposition stuff. Also, I don't know, man. Emily Blunt, I wrote down a note at some point where I was like, I don't think Emily Blunt's, I don't even know why she's in this movie, because she's not doing anything. And then she had that scene where she was like, I'm ride or die to the fucking government. And I was like, John Krasinski's one lucky guy. I get it now. Fucking, she really is a ride or die. And I suddenly was like, this is the coolest character of all time. Fuck Bobby Oppenheimer.
I don't get, though, what was so appealing about him that made her ride or die.
His 12-inch cock.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, when in the nudity scene, we only saw Florence Pugh naked. He had his legs crossed.
The reason his legs were crossed was they thought it'd be intimidating for the rest of the film. No one's going to sympathize with this guy at all.
Yeah,
They're not gonna, no one's going to watch the movie and be like, wow, he's really struggling. They're like, fuck this guy. He's got a giant horse cock, all right? Who gives a shit? Oh, woe is me. I'm going to blow up the world. You go fuck your problems away, all right, Mr. Porn Star?
That's a good point. I never thought of it that way.
That's why. And then instead of Bobby Oppenheimer, it was Bobby Cock Insider, It's pretty good.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I think I like the second act better, but the third act then has Robert Downey Jr. just almost stealing the entire movie. So it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, RDJ really acted that one up.
Everyone's saying how Cillian Murphy is amazing, and he really is. I honestly didn't get why Nolan was obsessed with him for the last 20 years until now.
And now we finally get it. Now the whole blue eyes thing. You know what? Blue eyes. It makes sense.
Yeah. But Robert Downey Jr. almost steals it, I think, at the end. So maybe the third act is the best, to your point.
Yeah, the RDJ black and white stuff was really good. And when it finally switched into color, that flashback was pretty sick. When we saw it for Oppenheimer and it became fully color instead of being in black and white, it was also pretty sick and subtle. That was pretty cool. Josh Hartnett, again, I'm just scrolling through. He's also just really cool in this movie and really hot. The fucking
super hot.
Super hot. Way to pull off the Indiana Jones look better than anyone ever has in the history of time, all right? He was young Indy, and he was looking good, wasn't he? Think of the way they dressed him. They dressed him. Remember the scene in Don't Trust the Bean Department 2-3 when she walks in? She's like, "Why are you dressed like Indiana Jones?" And then he's like, "That's what I was going for. I'm teaching a lecture today."
Oh yeah.
That's what Josh Hartnett was wearing.
Yeah, you're 100% right there.
Josh Hartnett looked exactly like Indiana Jones, just way sexier.
It was interesting. I was listening to Christopher Nolan talk about the movie, and the one guy...
And he was like, I really loved Josh Hartnett, and Pearl Harbor was a piece of shit. So I thought it'd be really good to give him an actual good World War II movie,
No, the guy interviewing was like, is it true that he was up for... Because he was up for Batman?
Yeah,
and
he
Christopher Nolan was
wasn't
like, no.
Oh, he wasn't?
No, he's like, no, we talked, but he really wasn't interested in playing Batman. He really wanted just to get into Prestige.
That's
so
funny.
apparently never went anywhere for Batman. But he was saying that he's a big Josh Hartnett fan. And I was thinking,
Dude, I've heard, you know what's funny, though?
40 Days and Nights?
No, every
Lucky Number
director,
11?
he's one of those actors, dude, it's fucking insane. There's certain actors who have like this entire curse where you'll always hear these actors, these directors just praise them. And then it's like, their career doesn't reflect the praise that's being given, okay? It's insanity. You'll hear people like fucking Scorsese will say, like, yeah, who's best actor working today? And you think, oh, he's going to say DiCaprio. I was like, Josh Hart. And you're like, what the fuck?
Why aren't you cast him?
Exactly. How's his career not reflect how amazing of an actor you guys all say he is? He was really good in this. And hot. Did I mention he was really hot in this?
He also was really good in this, who didn't get enough screen time at all.
David Krumholtz. Do you know why?
Yeah,
less attractive.
Yeah, no, that's probably why. That's so he's not Hot Bernard anymore.
Yeah, if he was hot Bernard, he probably went on the screen just as much as hot Hartnett was. Hosh Hartnett.
No, Michael Aragano.
Yeah,
he was. How do you say his name? It should have been way more.
You know why? Too short.
You're right.
Tall hot guy Josh Hartnett got all the screen time. Tall hot jack guy Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, super jack. When did that
Super
happen?
jack. I don't know, man. It must have been the 41st night. He kicked ass in the movie though. Vision Quest showing up midway through his stick when Matthew Modine just walks in and he's like, "My name's Loudon Swain." Like, dude, I didn't know you were in this movie. That's insane. It's the last little monologue at the end.
There's so many people in this movie. It's hard to remember
Jason
who
Clarke was really good in the movie.
Forgot he was in it. I almost forgot Matt Damon.
I kept thinking the whole time. The long I think was fucking. I'm Jerry fucking West. The entire time I kept thinking.
That's so. I actually know. As soon as he turned his head, I just thought, "What? Really? The guy from Terminator is in this?" I completely forgot about Jerry West.
John Connor is in this movie. That's insanity.
I forgot Matt Damon was in the fucking movie. I forgot Casey Affleck was in the movie. I forgot Cillian Murphy was in the movie.
Cillian Murphy I did not forget about. Josh Peck, though, was crazy. And also, did you hear the reaction in the crowd, everyone, when Josh Peck came on the screen? Like, people were like, whoa, that's Josh Peck?
No, I didn't notice that at all.
I'm not kidding. That actually happened. Like, 18 people in the crowd were like, oh, that's they were. It was insanity, okay? That was one of the universal shared moments. Everyone was like, in the movie with all these illustrators, everyone was like, that's that fucking idiot. Holy shit.
That's the guy from the show.
That's that guy.
Did anybody notice one of the Naked Brothers guys?
No.
Really? That's
no one noticed him. Sad. No one was like, hey, that's the guy from Amazing Spider-Man 2. No one cared about Dane DeHaan. They're like, that's the guy from not Invincible. What's the movie called? What's the movie they move cars around?
Oh, shit. I think it's Invincible.
No. It's definitely not called Invincible, is it?
Some of the C.
Conceivable.
Conceivable.
It's called the
Chronicle.
It's the Chronicle. Yeah, dude. No one was like, that's the guy from Chronicle. Everyone's like, who's this pudgy motherfucker in a uniform next to Matt Damon, who's also surprisingly pudgy in this movie with a dumb mustache. Doesn't fit his face very well.
It's the guy from Twilight Breaking
Dawn. Great performance, though. I think it's fucked up that we have yet another goddamn series of films that involve Matt Damon and Casey Affleck. No Ben Affleck to be seen.
Super fucked up.
For some reason, the only time that was allowed was only in Good Will Hunting, and since then it's nope. You get one Damon and one Affleck.
Maybe Christopher Nolan has an issue with directing directors.
Maybe, even though Matt Damon's definitely directed a shitty movie before, hasn't he?
Maybe, I don't know. I think he directed Gone Baby Gone or whatever.
Did Matt Damon direct that movie with John Krasinski? Where they're talking about Serbian houses.
Yeah,
he was like, hey, I mean, I'll be honest. It wasn't a directorial, juggernaut.
Yeah,
it was just kind of just a movie. It's kind of just a movie. It's a pretty good movie, I guess.
It was an alright movie. Did you know this, Alex? Let me know if you knew this. Did you know that there was no use of CGI at all in the movie?
No.
It was the first Nolan movie that's entirely shot in IMAX, which I forgot we could have saw in IMAX. I'm really pissed we didn't do that. So I think we should just go see that again.
True. I know they're 3 hours to kill. Fuck it.
Yeah, honestly. We should go see that again in IMAX. But it's the first one he's ever... So every movie he's done, for the most part, has IMAX sequences in it.
Right.
But it's the first one he's shot the entire thing on IMAX.
Nice.
And he had to fight to get special cameras made to just do black and white scenes because there's never been an IMAX camera that could shoot black and white before.
That doesn't seem like that does not seem like that seems like it should be a much smaller hurdle than you're making it out to be.
Apparently, it's this massive fucking feat. They had to really challenge Kodak. That's a direct quote.
Dude, fucking, they probably had a big Pitbull come over there, go to Times Square, take a picture with the Kodak. He kind of come over there and guys, I'm an ambassador of Kodak. Christopher, I got you.
It's the first one that had no CGI usage whatsoever.
It's pretty solid.
And he said to the director guy, visual artist guy, he gave him like 3 or 4 months just to think. He's like, it can't be CGI. The whole bomb sequence at the end where it's all bright white lights and shit. All that's real stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's
you're saying
obviously
that
a
that's one of the
practical
most terrifying things in human history. That's been in the psyche for years. It's what led to the Cold Wars and the fucking arms race and all this other shit. It can't be CGI because it's gonna lose that tangible factor. People need to fucking feel this. And I'm paraphrasing with the fucking and everything. Mm-hmm. People have to feel this. And fucking sick movie, huh? Lost my train of thought again. You looked bored when I was saying it. I thought it was really great.
Well, I didn't know this was the podcast. I didn't know this was the podcast where we just list off facts we've heard about the movie from other people. I thought it was the day we talk about.
I didn't know this was the thing when Robbie gets a little excited about something. Alex, this is just fucking.
Well, no,
down.
I was going to say though. You lingered on a little too long because I was about to say my original response to that was going to be this. I was going to say to you. I was going to say to you. Well, unfortunately for the how they're harping in the right place. I'm sorry, Chris, but I just assumed it actually was CGI. I didn't look at it and say, wow, that's definitely not computer generated images. That's definitely real. I just assumed that would have. Why would I? It looked great. It looked phenomenal. I agree, but him saying it had to be that.
Amazed.
I don't think it had to be that. I didn't realize it was that.
Have to be, but I still think it's kind of crazy he went for that.
It is awesome. I'm all for it. I think CGI is stupid. I agree. I'm just saying. When you give me the reason behind it, saying because it's such a visceral thing, you need to be real to see. I'm like, I didn't realize it was real.
All right, you know what, Alex? I got 2 more fun facts, and I can share them now, or I'll wait if you're so bored.
Just wait for it. See, this isn't just a fact. This is just a comment. I wrote Huey because when he walked into the movie, I thought, oh, he'll do something.
Yeah, he played bongos, man.
He played bongos.
He's awesome at it.
They were like, we need someone to play bongos, and I think Dennis Quaid's son, if I recall, I think he knows how to play the bongos, and that's why they hired him.
He's like his power on The Boys.
Not instead of getting naked and teleporting, it's really good musical.
He's got an internal metronome like George Michael.
Like George Michael. Krumholtz and Killian talking about the 300 years of the weapons of mass destruction. I thought the movie did a really good job of actually handling the severity of what they're talking about. It made it feel like the stakes felt large.
Yep.
It was never a point where they were like, just a little bomb. Which I think it's pretty simple to happen in a movie about making a bomb. At some point, you're going to be like, they're just making a fucking bomb. But the movie did a really good job of making you like, oh, no, this is like the bomb.
That's a good point. It felt like it was, they made a comment thing I was listening to about how, don't spoil it. Like Chris Roman made a joke. He's like, you can't really spoil it. Everyone knows this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know the outcome. Alerts. We all know the outcome. Yet everything still like it had a ton of weight. That's great point.
I agree. That was a good point I made. Thank you.
Sorry.
What?
Sorry.
Why are you apologizing? No, I agree with you. I made a very good point. I agree. Thank you. The build him a town line that also made my dick move a little bit. That was awesome.
Yep.
Build him a town. Like, oh, that's power. That's just raw power, Matt Damon. That's what the mustache is for. That's why he's got it. Now it makes sense.
He was so good in that
He was great in the movie.
He was, honestly, I haven't liked Matt Damon in a long time. I don't think he acts that well anymore, but he was fucking great.
He saved it for this one. In that interview, I'll just say, I watched an interview, and Matt Damon was talking about how him and his wife are going to a couple therapy, and she wanted to take a step back from his acting performances, and he said, not if there's a Nolan movie coming out, and coincidentally, a Nolan movie came out. Pretty good impression of you, right?
Yeah, he sounded just like me, actually. I didn't know he could even do that well.
The synth music was great in the movie. The synth music, when he grabbed his hat and the pipe and just started doing synths, I got into it and started fucking doing the edits of the sky and seeing space and kept cutting them. The visuals were insane. The shaking behind him, the burning of everything. It was all awesome.
I thought they were going to go full Judgment Day T2, but they didn't. I thought after when that girl started crying, they were holding the ash. I thought we were going to see everybody fucking shake apart and everything.
Oh, and then when he's doing the speech at the very end of that girl's skin.
I thought he was going to be standing there and it was going to be skeletons. Fucking, not
like Spider-Man 1 style. That'd be cool.
Think of that.
That would have been cool. Christopher Nolan should have used CGI, but he should have limited himself to only using the CGI at the disposal of Sam Raimi in 2001 or whatever. And it should have just been that cheesy. Skeletons fall to the ground. That would have been fucking so funny. Everyone, that one movie, I forget what it is, but there's that one movie that everyone says would have won an Oscar. It was a really good drama, but they included a blooper reel during the credits.
What?
Some movie from the 70s where everyone says this guy would have won an Oscar, and even the actor said it and everything, but for some reason it was a super dramatic movie. It ends on a blooper reel. And it's like they play the normal credits and then there's bloopers. It just cuts to black with the credits rolling next to a blooper reel. So it's just immediately bloopers. And the first blooper they show is of the final scene of him lying dead, but he starts laughing and talking yeah, blah, 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 blah. And everyone says it just ruined the whole entire experience of the movie and made no one want to give it any Oscars. Christopher Nolan should have done that. And he should have had this entire build up. And then it goes to the fucking Spider-Man 1 skeletons falling to the ground.
I agree. That's why I said it. That's exactly what I was thinking.
So many good lines. So, lost in your world of quantum possibilities. That's a douchey thing to say. Sounded great when there was a synth behind it and Cillian Murphy talking, Who
do you think did the music?
Theory will only take you so far. You're right. It only will take me so far. What a great line. How long have you been British? Since Hitler told me I was no longer German.
Dude, when that guy
that was a home run line.
When that guy was revealed to not be a good guy, I was stunned because of that line.
Broke my heart.
I know that line.
I was like, no, that guy.
When he said, "I'm like, I can trust him. We can easily trust him."
I don't know a single character's name in this movie, but that guy. Dude, I thought for sure it was gonna be that fucking Weasley little guy. I thought it was gonna be fucking Sky High or Huey.
Yeah, definitely Huey. He's got that fucking snake vibe.
Yeah, you got that Dennis Quaid face.
Actually, I have a massive complaint about the movie. You have all those scientists, guys, and you're gonna tell me the quintessential scientist in cinema, Jeff Goldblum's not going to have an appearance at any point?
I thought you'd walk in there 1,000 times. I thought Jeff Goldblum was going to be like the guy. And it's like, nope, we're just going to have fucking Josh Peck here.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, we couldn't get Jeff Goldblum, so we got Josh Peck, the guy from the Nickel Brothers Band, and the kid from Sky High. Also, where was Cousin Greg?
Yeah, that's
Get him on this one. Get a tall guy. Not everyone has to be super short in that movie. Get a tall guy, all right? Goddamn.
Do you remember who
the Russians have a bomb and Truman needs to know what's next? Sick line. Oh my God, that's just simple as the follow instead of they have a key which will delete all of the internet. It's true. The Russians have a bomb.
It's so much easier to wrap my head around.
The Russians have a bomb. It's like, yeah, you know what? I get what's going on right now. I can follow this. This is a pretty serious situation. They just told me the Russians have a bomb. What is next, President Truman? It adds up. It's a lot better than fucking, again,
okay,
there's two halves of a key.
Cruciform key, you put them together.
And that key unlocks a machine that can control the world. It's like, how about just a bomb?
But that machine's in a sub that no one knows where it's located.
Sank in the Russians. And it's like, you know, how about you stick to the whole Russians having a bomb thing, all right? If it's not broke, don't fix it. It's a true tried-ready formula for 40 years. Stop trying to reinvent the fucking wheel and be like, it's a very vague device that it uploads to the cloud. No. I need lines that say the Russians have a bomb and Truman needs to know what's next.
And I need to see guys with big jars putting marbles in there to help me demonstrate
to really
understand
illustrate
what's going
how far
on.
we are along in this in time passing. You know, when he first got those first 4 marbles in there, I was thinking, dude, there's not enough marbles in all of New Mexico to fill that fucking fishbowl. But once the music starts picking, once the synths start picking up and everything, you know what happens? That jar, fishbowl, boom, 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 get filled to the top.
I don't think the music stopped at any point in the entire movie.
Such a good movie. And also, the black and white was so enjoyable. And I'm the last person to ever say that in anything ever. That was the most amazing, fantastic, because maybe it's such good cameras that were made from Kodak.
Probably.
I guess I can only watch black and white films that are done on Kodak IMAX cameras.
Yeah, I really want to go see that in IMAX now. We definitely gotta go do that.
Yeah, we do. Let's just stop fucking talking right now. Let's go right now.
Fucking. Well, I got one more fact.
Rami Malek was in the movie.
I said that before.
That was surprising. It's crazy how many that's better than a jump scare. An actor surprise.
You know what surprised me the most? That Vincent guy. You know what I'm talking about? The one that
Yeah.
I can't think of any other cause. I think it was Vincent, and he was foreign. He was like the Brazilian guy or whatever. I don't think he was Brazilian.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you know what I'm talking about?
The one who walked out of the one who wanted to do the hydrogen bomb.
Yes, that guy. Thank you, Vincent. Fucking, I thought that was Billy Zane initially.
That would have been so cool if DH Billy Zane.
I thought it was a young Billy Zane. So I'm like, wait, Billy Zane's not young anymore.
How
Can't be him.
funny would that be if Christopher Nolan? That's the thing he'd
the
want to
CGI.
do. Yeah, where he's like, I'm not gonna use any CGI. I'm only gonna DH characters. And like, oh, he can get like a Harrison Ford, make him 40. He's like, no, I'm gonna get Billy Zane and make him 30. And like, isn't he 50? Like, yeah. I really want like 90s Billy Zane in this movie. It's gonna be crazy time when the de-aging is that good.
You seen Tombstone?
Dude,
I want that Billy Zane.
I'm putting 90s Christian Slater in every movie I make.
That's genius.
You think I can just be maybe me in this one? No. You cannot be you, okay? Post 2000s Christian Slater, cancer for the box office, okay? 90s Christian Slater, kind of a home run hitter at the box office.
Yeah, he's got some good movies.
He does. That's true. Again, thank you. I agree.
Welcome, yeah.
I wrote down again Josh Hartnett in a hot leather jacket. It's pretty hot. Indiana Jones with the hair.
Honestly, not enough Josh Hartnett.
No, it wasn't. He disappeared randomly in the movie. I thought it was going to be a much bigger character. When he first walked on the screen, I was like, really?
I thought he was just going to be there for 2 seconds.
But then he was there.
Yeah,
and he kept being there. And they kept having some good lines with Cillian Murphy. And also, it was nice to see an American being an American. Because you know what? A part of me every time, I'm like, stop casting these British fucks. This is a movie about... No! This movie is about what? America, okay? Don't cast Cillian Murphy. Cast, Jason Momoa. That's just who Oppenheimer should have been. Or John Cena,
Dude, John Cena's Oppenheimer.
With the new hair. The hair he suddenly
so
found.
much better. Cillian Murphy sucks.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy did suck. They should have had John Cena as Oppenheimer.
And his name is Albert Oppenheimer.
No, that wasn't that funny. That was low-hanging fruit.
You know what else? I think it was the right height of.
Are you sure about
I
that?
Thought it was funny. Yeah, I am sure about that. John
Are you
Cena.
sure
Yeah,
about that? See, that was funny because that was like a double reference,
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It applied to what you were saying. It wasn't just me randomly singing a song.
Whatever, bro. Get on with your story. What was your favorite scene? My favorite scene is the very last scene, I think.
I don't know. One of my other favorite lines was Matt Damon's response when he's asked about the spies. What will we do? He's like, we'll kill them. Then we'll kill them.
Yeah, Matt Damon was awful.
Matt Damon's like, then I'll murder them. We'll die. That's what'll happen.
And then when he's like, do you want me to come to Washington with you? And he goes, no.
Yeah, not really.
No, thanks. You can still.
No.
I'll call you.
Fucking Emily Blunt and Florence Pugh when they were just making eyes, fighting over that 120-pound stallion.
She was
Murphy.
so good in the movie. And actually, one of my favorite lines was something she said. I'm not going to go through my notes and waste time finding it. But it was when he was crying about Florence Pugh killing herself. And she's like, you commit sins, then you're
Don't you
surprised
get
by
it,
the
Mom? I wish I
consequence.
died back there. Well, you didn't.
I think her line was really good. I'm not going to repeat it because it's clearly not worth your time.
What was the line?
Don't worry about it.
Oh.
I got something better than the line, though.
I got something better than that. Do you remember how I said to you, is that Casey Affleck? Before it showed Casey Affleck because he was over the shoulder of him talking.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that Casey Affleck? And then it cut. Who was it? It was Casey
Ben
Affleck.
Casey Affleck.
That would make me piss my pants. I had to pee that entire movie. If I said, is that Casey Affleck? And then Ben Affleck showed up on the screen, I would have pissed my fucking pants. And I would have sat there and watched the rest of the movie.
That's hilarious.
But again, Matt Damon plus Casey Affleck, but no Ben because Christopher Nolan is fucking delusional.
Yeah, I don't get that. It actually was so distracting not seeing Ben Affleck.
Imagine Nicole Hauser showed up too.
I've been sick. A fucking
Was
Good Will Hunting
Stellan
reunion.
Skarsgård in the movie for like a flash? I think he might have been in one scene.
I don't remember, but that sounds so
I
accurate
think he
to
could
the
have been
point
one
where
of
I
the
remember
guys
it
on
now.
the fucking Senate.
Yeah,
I think he may have been.
he was one of the guys saying, "You're
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Stop lying about Robert Oppenheimer.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, fucking. Where is so simple?
Oh, dude.
that it
What's that guy's name?
Would that it was
Alden
so
Ehrenreich.
simple.
Yeah, that guy was great.
He was great in it.
Would
so
that it
funny.
was so simple. Would that it was so simple. Yeah, he was really good. He tells fucking
I like him a lot actually as an actor. I don't think he should have gotten so much shit for fucking Han Solo.
No, Stellan Skarsgård wasn't in it. Kenneth Branagh was, but I don't care.
He was actually good in it too.
Yeah, he was all right. And then what'd you just say? Oh, Ehrenreich. Who gives a shit? Star Wars sucked not because of him.
I like the Albert Einstein guy a lot too.
He was really good. Don't know his name because he's
That
not
was my
good.
favorite scene at the end with him and
Oh, the last part, how it wasn't even about Robert Downey Jr.
that was so good. I got chills with that fucking scene. Everything's black and white with Robert Downey Jr. You finally see what the scene's about. And you see where Oppenheimer's and he didn't even fucking Oppenheimer barely spoke
I know, it was just the other guy talking.
and didn't even talk about fucking Downey. It's insane, and that's what caused all that fucking stir. That's fucking brilliant.
I agree.
Every time I
100%.
talk, anytime I get to a certain point,
no,
you're
I
like,
agree
God,
100%.
shut up.
That's really good stuff you're doing this saying, okay? But listen, what I want to say, there's no way of segueing into it, so I was going to go back to the thing you said earlier, because I just scrolled past my note, and as we mentioned earlier. As far as the whole Drake and Josh thing, I wrote down, really, Josh Peck, he gets the honors, he detonates the bomb, does Drake Bell get to shoot Hitler? So yeah, I guess I did have the same connection you had, where I was like, yeah, this is a little weird, only one of them's in it. And then my follow-up line under that one was saying, I wonder how Noid Ned's declassified must be that they're not in this movie.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that.
He's like...
That's so fucking funny. That's actually sad. I feel bad now because he was trying to do that fucking Alec Baldwin movie.
Yeah, that
fucked
one-
up everybody's fucking
Yeah,
career. But it is kind of funny to think that maybe he auditioned for this. He's not in it, but everybody else in Nickelodeon's in
That's
it.
what I'm thinking it's happening. I'm thinking right now that, Cookie and Mose and Ned are sitting around, like, drunk, and they're talking about, like, how it's not fair, the privileged treatment that the Snyderverse kids get. Josh Peck gets to be in a Nolan movie. Fucking... That's pretty much
Naked
it.
Brothers kid gets to be.
He gets to be in it. Their show last an episode. We had 3 seasons.
Look at that one kick.
We almost made it to syndication.
That's true. You want to hear my last fact?
You have one last fact. I have so many notes. It's jarring to look at all these still.
I said it was hard to take notes because I was honestly, I didn't want to go in not liking the movie, but I knew it'd be easier to find complaints. And then when I couldn't find anything to complain about, I started panicking and I started grasping for straws. So all my notes are fucking stupid. That's why I only have my cool fucking facts to share.
Well, I just rolled past only if a torso simple. We addressed that.
Yeah.
I called Robert Downey Jr. being bad the first 5 minutes. totally correct. Gary Oldman, we mentioned, was
I
pretty
honestly
good
didn't
in
see
it.
that coming. I guess I'm an
immediately
idiot.
I saw it.
I thought for sure it was just fucking some guy who was jealous that Oppenheimer was getting all the credit for something.
Who played Truman?
Oldman.
Now, this is what I said to you. I leaned over in that theater and I was like, hey, this movie came out in 2015. You want who have been playing fucking...
You did say
who have
this.
been playing Truman?
Kevin's...
I put my fingers up to count. 1, 2. Robbie on 2 was like, Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, I thought you were pointing at me to say the reveal. You gotta like snap your fingers next time. Let me know I'm gonna count this.
Yeah.
Time.
3, 2. Kevin Spacey.
See?
Nice. There we go. Matthew Modine's so goddamn good. Jason Clarke is great. I wrote down again, Josh Heartthrob looks like Indiana Jones.
Dude, get over yourself.
Rami Malek really kicked ass in that cabinet meeting. I thought he was an idiot fault, but that fucking that part where he was holding the clipboard, I'm like, why is this asshole in this movie?
Yeah, to save the day.
To save the day. I guess he's a real hero. Emily Blunt was amazing. What a ride or fucking die. Tony Goldwyn did absolutely nothing.
Who?
The guy from Cuffs. The one from Ghost.
Yeah, I keep forgetting he was in the guy.
He did nothing. He just sat there. They're like, hey. Again, that's something I don't get though. Is like, I understand it's like, you know, get to work with Nolan, but at some point, like Matthew Modine had dialogue at least where someone can be like, yeah, like another director might see the movie and be like, oh yeah, Matthew Modine kicks ass, hell yeah, right? Yeah. But it's like no one's seen the movie. They might, even if they do recognize Tony Goldwyn, they're like, he didn't say a single word in this movie. Why is he in this? There's nothing. It's not like he got one good line, you know, like Dennis Hopper and fucking, I guess the Sicilian speech in True Romance. It's pretty much he only gets 2 scenes in that movie. But it's like, oh, he picked it because it's a big monologue, talks, blah, blah, blah. Tony Goldwyn's like, yeah, I'd love to come to set and sit next to some actors delivering their lines.
I keep forgetting who this fucking guy is. He was so irrelevant to the movie. Who are we talking about?
Tony Goldwyn, the guy from Ghost and Cuffs.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah, he did nothing in the movie. He was
How
the
cool
only
was
weak
your favorite
link.
line was? You know what my favorite line was?
What?
Yeah, a young senator from Massachusetts, Kennedy. That was the best line in the entire fucking thing, the way they threw that one in there.
Yeah, that was the best part of the entire movie. The whole movie is actually just a propaganda piece to remind everybody there's a Kennedy running for office.
Yep, that's what Nolan's doing. Nolan's very involved in American politics.
It's pretty. I mean, hey.
Yeah, there's this young guy from Massachusetts. Kennedy. It's just right
yeah,
there.
Why would the movie's credits set the Kennedy?
It says RFK 2024, and it just cuts to him and Cheryl Hines awkwardly talking. Where like it's like a weird like delay of them just answering questions and Nolan just interviewing them, and they're like, "What is the point of this movie?" It just stopped being about Oppenheimer and became a fucking targeted campaign ad from the Kennedys.
I dropped the ball there. I was gonna say a joke, and I was like, "This joke's not funny."
So you just decided to sit in silence.
I wanted to work in how Christopher Nolan's super cool for his "if you ain't first, you're last" thing we heard him talk about.
Dude.
But I couldn't think of an easy way to transition that.
Yeah,
so
not even a little bit. Jesus Christ!
That was the note I happened to look at that I had on my phone.
Another great line: "A prophet can't be wrong, not even once." Whoa.
Yeah, that movie had a lot of really good one-liners, and I feel like almost everybody got at least one good one-liner.
I did want Christmas to be more like Jarhead, though. That's a complaint I have with the movie.
Who?
I wanted the Christmas part.
Oh, gotcha.
To be more like Jarhead. Like I wanted Jake Gyllenhaal and just the jock dancing around, being a fool and everything. You know.
Who would have been?
Probably Josh Peck. I mean, he's one who got
Josh Hartnett. What are you talking about?
I don't want to degrade the guy like that.
You're right. I'm sorry.
He's a good-looking man. You know, he's like a classically good-looking man. Josh Peck's a goddamn monkey boy. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And also, I still don't get why he got the honors to detonate the bomb.
Yeah, that seems so out of left field to me.
He's like, yup, guys, I got this.
Wouldn't someone who didn't just get us coffee in the morning want to do this? Not the coffee guy?
Yeah, not the guy taking notes. He's this fucking coffee
Josh,
guy.
You must come and take notes.
He's just taking notes. He's keeping sure everything says on the record, all right? The guy's useless. Still don't get the Florence Pugh relationship whatsoever. Yeah. Don't answer my calls. Don't bring me flowers.
The only thing I think that the Florence Pugh storyline did anything for is, like I was trying to say before, I think my favorite line, at least the one that really I wrote down at least, is when he's upset that she killed herself and Emily Blunt says you commit sins and you're surprised by the consequences. Mm-hmm. I think that was the first point in the movie. Then from that point on, he started reconsidering the whole prospect of this bomb, because initially he was so excited thinking it was this great idea, it's going to end war and make world peace. And I think
I would have preferred any other way of getting that message established to us, opposed to
I agree 100%, but that's
I would have preferred him stepping on dog shit and then shit, and he takes the newspaper from the thing next to it and the headline says nuclear bombs could be bad, and he's like, you know what, maybe they could be bad. I prefer that 10-second exchange, and I think that makes a better movie overall. The movie in which you omit the very popular actress from the film and the whole love story, and you have it where he steps in a pile of dog shit and that's the inciting incident for his change of thought. I think that's probably a better movie overall, a more well received.
I don't know. We got that not awkward at all scene of her sitting naked across from Cillian Murphy sitting naked with his legs crossed. I mean, do you really want to sacrifice that moment? That the only thing that did slow down the momentum of the movie for me. You don't want to sacrifice that.
I'd argue that also the part in which she drowned herself. Which also, that part was directed poorly.
I saw someone's hands.
I could have sworn she was being put down into the water for a second. Like, was Christopher Nolan saying, it was like the 10th take. He's like, you're going to say fucking, you're not going to keep coming out for 3 seconds saying about, oh, you need to breathe. You're going to stay the fuck in the water. And he's just holding her head in the shot.
I thought there was going to be a whole other plot of the movie, like some conspiracy.
Murdered,
someone killed her because they were too close to him.
I liked how Truman just didn't even try to pretend that he liked Oppenheimer.
I didn't like
after
that
5-second exchange. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't know if I'm proud of it. He's like, fuck you. It just tells him to leave. He just,
don't let that crybaby bitch in here again.
You know what? Fuck you. He was just so done with his bullshit. That I kind of liked about it. I was like, you know what? Yeah, fuck Oppenheimer. I agree. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, actually, no, that was pretty cool, actually.
Chances are near zero to the end of the world theory alone. Zero would be nice was a pretty great line.
It's amazing that those guys are like, it's close to zero, but who gives a shit? Let's try it. And Ben Affleck's like, there's 0.1% chance.
Maybe that's why he wasn't cast.
You're
Chris
right.
Nolan was like,
this guy's a Sea Gray.
Actually, I bet the reason why Chris Nolan wasn't cast, why Chris Nolan didn't cast Ben Affleck is if there was ever a chance in the past for it to happen, it's probably gone now that he's Batman.
You think that's what did it?
I don't think there's any necessarily bad terms, but I'm not casting the next guy from the next movie in my thing. Fuck that. That's ridiculous. Would you ever do that? You pass over the mantle to someone and then they make Batman v Superman. You're like, yeah, let me give Ben Affleck another movie.
Yeah, I get you're saying. That'd be weird. I think that'd be weird too.
It's where the Christian Bale wasn't in this at all. That would have been kind of cool, honestly, if he showed up. Since the entire first act was just guess who the next actor is. Since the entire first act was just a fucking Muppets movie going across the map to meet other actors, they should have had some more familiar faces pop up in the movie, like Christian Bale. Christian Bale could have been, instead of having Tony Goldwyn sit there for 20 minutes, just have Christian Bale sit there for 20 minutes next to fucking Jason Clarke.
It's odd that in a mist of characters who are all played by actors you immediately recognize, that the guy playing Albert Einstein just happened to look like Albert Einstein.
Like to a T.
It's not some famous, maybe he is, but he's not some recognizable guy like the rest of everybody else.
Two other great Matt Damon lines were when Cillian Murphy says it's hard to add up, and then Matt Damon said, not really, you just add all the bills together. That was pretty good. The part where fucking Matt Damon's talking to Cillian Murphy, surprise, surprise, and Cillian Murphy's like, give me the order, and Matt Damon's like, it doesn't work that way. You need to ask for it, and the way you need to volunteer for this, and the implication behind that line was so good. How it's like, no, you have to be the one who's asking for these things. I can't just be giving you things. You got to be the one who's volunteering to do this. That was pretty sick. The hydrogen bomb being shit on was pretty funny. They're like, hydrogen, this fucking loser. Dumb. Hydrogen for a bomb.
Get out of here, Billy Zane.
Yeah, you fucking zero. God, you're dumb. And what we all know, hindsight 2020, hydrogen bomb turned out to be the answer to the A-bomb.
Yeah, no one was like, hey, good job. You're actually right.
They're just like, fucking idiot.
Like, guys, we figured out hydrogen's the answer.
Oh, Ian was in the movie?
I forgot about that.
Josh Zuckerman. That's fucking bonkers to show him to show up. I thought that guy's career was over. Okay, I thought he had 3 chances.
So you know what he did before this?
And oh my god, fucking Survivor Christmas with Ben Affleck. Oppenheimer was just a movie for Christopher Nolan not to cast Ben Affleck.
That's the only reason he made it.
Like, I'm gonna cast every fucking actor, friend, and family member of Ben Affleck, and I'm not casting Ben Affleck.
Do you know what Ian?
He's not my Superman.
Do you know what Ian did before Oppenheimer?
Desperate Housewives.
No. But after Desperate Housewives, the last thing he did just before Oppenheimer, he's in a Domino's commercial last year.
True. Okay. He was in a Domino's commercial.
He doesn't have any lines. He's just the guy delivering pizza.
Dude, started from the bottom. He's in a Nolan movie.
Yeah, honestly. Dude, thank God for guys like Nolan giving the pizza guy a second chance.
Yeah, honestly. That's fucking good for him. Next, we're going to see the Can You Hear Me Now guy in the next movie. He's going to keep giving shitty actors good parts and things.
He's going to be the second lead.
I never understood why Josh Hartnett was the it actor back in 2002.
Yeah.
And now 21 years later, I get it.
I think we should just call this episode Josh Hartnett's in Oppenheimer.
Josh Hartnett is Oppenheimer. True. Oh, also, when Emily Blunt was being see, my notes are in different phases of the movie, right? Because the Act 1 and Act 2, I thought Emily Blunt was just taking a paycheck, and she wanted just to say on her, she just wanted on her billing of her, to say was in a Nolan movie. So I was like, I get it, that's fair. So the part though where she was being all bitchy to him, I was like, I'm pretty positive her husband chose to save that mud bank from getting that bullet just to get away from her. She was being real fucking bitchy for a minute, but then again, I feel bad complaining now because at the very end when she defended him and everything, I was like, that's the woman right there.
Dude, she was so cool.
That's a woman.
Fucking Jerry West got everybody fucking to cave and to crack at the knees or buckle at the knees, and then she comes in and she drops her purse, and then she's just like, I had a card. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
it's 30 years
dick.
ago. Yeah, fuck you.
Fucking blow me. She's like, oh, what? I was a fucking commie. Suck this. Share this. But no, it's because she was so annoying when she was like drinking, complaining about the baby crying and shoved him away. I was like, God damn it. But then again, at the very end, she came full circle and she was like, I'm smarter than you. She, yeah, well, we're faster, which is pretty great.
Nice way to tie back to Twilight, because as we all know, Rami Malek is in Twilight.
Rami Malek is
Dawn.
in Twilight. True. Imagine if Taylor Lautner was in this movie, like pudgy ass Taylor Lautner.
Well, he did have Robert Pattinson in Tenet.
That's
made
true.
Sense.
He's just taking guys
and now Robert Pattinson's
movies.
Batman. And Robert Pattinson was in a movie that the brothers directed. One of those brothers was in Oppenheimer.
That's true.
This is just fucking interwoven webs, man.
7 degrees of Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, honestly. Speaking of which, you want to hear the next fact I have about Christopher Nolan?
Go for it.
What company produced this movie?
Syncopy.
Yeah, that's the only logo I remember seeing. Do you know what the first logo was before that?
WB.
That's what I thought.
Universal.
It's Universal.
Yeah,
This is the first Universal
guess.
movie. And why do you think it was WB?
Because they do all of his movies.
Yeah, the reason, you know why they stopped doing that? Apparently he ended his 20-year partnership with them.
Why?
Because when Tenet came out, it was one of the few movies that was actually put in the theaters during COVID, or the initial start of COVID, or whatever the divide was. He really pushed for it to go in theaters, and he had to fight the studio on it. But then they also released it on streaming services at the same as that time. They didn't tell him about that. And he's super against that because he's saying how it's ruining the whole movie industry and blah, 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 blah. That's what disintegrated the 20 years he had with them. That's why he jumped over to do this with Universal.
It's a weird choice he went to Universal next. I wonder how they won the courting of Christopher Nolan's talents.
I was going to say, I want the ones that do Bond, but that's Sony, so I don't know. 'Cause I know the Bond people really want him to do the next one.
That was around for a while, actually. Yeah.
I think that's coming back in circulation. But I heard him talking
crazy.
about it today, and he's saying how it's really hard to do that just because of the way those movies are. There's so much weight behind the character, so many rules you kind of have to stay in there. It's like, I know I did that with Batman. It was a little different. I had more creative freedom with Batman, so I was doing a different take on it.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't sound like he necessarily wants to do Bond. It sounds like he's kind of open to the idea.
Well, now he's got a fair game because now he doesn't work. He doesn't just work for fucking no more exclusivity contract to Warner Brothers, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little fucked up. They're able to maintain an 80-year working relationship with Clint Eastwood, who openly steals from them, but they can't maintain a 20-year plus relationship with Christopher Nolan, who seems to be like a pretty by the books kind of guy. Mm-hmm. Who also is making R-rated movies that gross hundreds of millions of dollars for the other studio.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that could have been your movie. Because I imagine when he came up with the idea for it, he was probably like, I'll do this one for Warner Brothers. And he's like, I guess I can. I got to do it for Universal.
And he's like, well, if you ain't first, you're last.
If you ain't first, you're last. Yeah, that was pretty amazing hearing him on the worst interviewer of all time, who's won more Emmys than you and I will ever win.
Yeah, honestly.
Somehow, Rich Eisen, who's like, really?
I thought it was Rick Eisen. Shows how much respect I have.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Rick Eisen. Rick Eisen talking to Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan's like, what's a remote
do Nolan
drop? The hilarious part just shows how fucking dumb and stupid and dumb that Rick Eisen is that he says in that interview, he coins the term, seemingly off the cuff, of a remote drop.
Yeah.
For when there's something so you just have to put the thing down. And Christopher Nolan says, wow.
Yep.
I've never heard of that. I like that quite a bit. A remote drop. That's really, really good. Huh. And he's like, I love Kubrick movies. And then he says, oh, Talladega Nights. And then Rick Eisen, the guy who had that spontaneous stroke of genius, to the point where Christopher Nolan even audibly was like, wow.
You didn't expect it from Rick
remote
Eisen.
drop. That's kind of cool. Dense, dumb, Maroose motherfucker Rick Eisen says, so really, Talladega Nights is The Legend of Ricky Bobby is a mic drop movie for you?
But Christopher Nolan, in such classy gentleman fashion, doesn't even point out the
It doesn't point
blunder.
out the fact that this moron just went from saying remote drop, something new, he got a compliment for it. And then he goes back to saying mic drop.
I guess the Emmys are awarded to him because of those little bursts of
creativity. Yeah. It's not. He's quality over quantity.
He's not one for follow through.
Yeah, that's actually why he does like 7 episodes a week. Is so there can be one good episode per week.
That makes a lot of sense.
Or one good interaction from one good episode of one part of an interview on that episode a week.
But what does that good man, Mr. Nolan, say instead of ripping him apart for his blunder?
If you ain't first, you're last.
Which
would have been a great ending to the episode, which you just lead up to do, I think, but I'm not done talking.
No, I wasn't. I just wanted you to finish the story.
Right, well, yeah, I agree. That was pretty hilarious, and it's really levels out my understanding of Christopher Nolan in a whole new lens, where it's like,
I don't even know
you
the
wear
guy.
suits to work, and you got a douchey little accent, which I guess isn't your fault, but just the way you are, then you tell me you love Talladega Nights, and you quote it.
Yeah, but doesn't Jonathan Nolan have, like, no accent?
I have no idea.
I think Christopher... I don't think Christopher Nolan even has an accent. I think he just talks douchey because I was listening to him today.
Where's he from?
He's from here, I think.
No way.
I think he's got... No, I don't mean here. I mean just...
No, he's not from America, is he?
I think he has a case of Lauren Conan syndrome where they go to
I was
another
in
country
Jersey
to
till I was
adopt
11,
that. Yeah.
but I'm British now. Let's see. Was his name...
I wish she had a Jersey girl accent.
Who the hell did
She sounds
Christopher...
so good with that.
Apparently, I just searched the word Christopher and no Nolan, and somehow, instead of showing me Christopher Nolan, it shows me Christopher Lund Nielsen, the Danish singer from Copenhagen. And it's like, of all people in the world named Christopher that it could have showed me, how the hell did I get on this dumb? Christopher Nolan, British-American filmmaker.
Oh, he is British. Okay. His brother? Because I don't think his brother has an accent.
He's born in London.
Oh. All right, I'm just talking on my ass left and right.
And Jonathan Nolan was also born in London.
Wow, I am really batting 1,000 here.
So is anything you said this entire interview true in this entire episode?
Funny story, actually.
I made it all up.
I didn't listen to a single entry today.
Yeah. Are you also a suspected commie, womanizer, neurotic nut like Oppenheimer?
Yeah, I've been. A lot of people actually describe me as such.
I could see it. I love how the scientists handled it so matter of fact. Like, yeah, this science guy, I'm pretty sure it's less than 0. Like when we talked, they were like, yeah, no, it's less than 0. Like, what's the problem? It's close enough.
Yeah, I got 200. We all die. Who wants to place bets on this one with me?
Yeah, they were all taking it rather chill. I like that they weren't freaking out about it.
I thought it was disturbing, dude. I was pissing my pants. And I knew the outcome.
Right.
I was afraid.
I thought, like, is this gonna blow the theater up?
Yeah, I thought it was
going to
Final
die?
Destination right now. That's
the Final Destination.
I meant to say it to you. I thought that for sure that this movie was
3
going to
years,
explode.
4,000 people, $2 billion. If this doesn't go right, we're both done, you know? I was like, we're going to die. This is going to end. We're going to explode. The movie's just going to cut to black.
And you let the timing of that button, that delicate timing that if anything goes wrong could apparently ignite the entire atmosphere. You left that precious decision of all that money and everything else at stake to Josh Peck.
To Josh Peck.
To click that button.
And also, I don't remember what the instruction was, but there was some set of instructions Cillian Murphy said were like, if it goes above this line, hit stop. I'm like, you trusting that guy?
I know. And
Do
he
it
jumped
yourself.
immediately. I was like, whoa,
Do it yourself.
he can't handle this. Yeah, really. Why you exactly? That seems a little too important to let the guy from Drake and Josh take care of
I think
this.
the first act was really good. I think once it got to Los Alamos, some of the Manhattan Project became fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think the deposition was my favorite part, though, overall, which is crazy because when the bomb blew up, I'm like, are they going to end the movie right here?
That's what I thought, too.
And then it kept going, and I was like, thank God it kept going. Which proves the fact that when everyone's like asking me to be below 2 hours. No. Good movies can go as long as they want.
Honestly, that movie probably could have gone another half hour, 40 minutes.
I don't know about a whole hour, but there's probably a little bit more story in there. Maybe or get rid of the Florence Pugh stuff, you know? Have him step in a pile of dog shit and be like, oh, I got something on my shoe. And then he pulls it. It's like, oh, some people are saying the nuclear bomb's not a good thing. Maybe it's not.
Oh, yeah, and he's also banging that other blonde lady, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, where'd that come from? All right, how is this guy? Again, it's the
He's a
12-inch
womanizer.
cock. It's the 12-inch cock. It's the science cock.
It's then
That's actually his first experiment. The Bruce Banner thing, where he like it becomes green from the experiment go wrong. His first experiment went wrong. He just made a giant swinging dong between his legs.
Yeah, so maybe I'm just reading into the wrong ways. Is his dick also green as a result? It's a different experiment. This isn't the same.
Different experiment.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Different experiment. Entirely different experiment. No relation whatsoever. I thought it was pretty funny though. The part I chuckled to myself when the bomb was getting taken away from the scientists. It felt like the dad saying goodbye to their kids at McDonald's when the mom's taking them away. They're all just so sullen. Their faces just dropped. They're like, they're taking my bomb. It was kind of hilarious to see the effect of them losing a bomb hat on them.
Remember how I joked and said, really, they got Scotch tape on this thing?
Yeah.
Apparently, that's what they actually use in real life. It's actually Scotch tape.
Well, I mean, it's practical. It has a practical use. All right.
Yeah, it barely holds your paper together, but it's gonna hold a bomb together.
I think the last thing I want to say is
If you ain't first, you're last.
No, that's a good one. Do you have anything else you want to say? Take your time.
No, I think I said it all.
I'll say one last thing is that I saw Andrew Schultz talking about Oppenheimer for maybe I may have given him 15 seconds. It may have been 5 seconds, but it could have been 15. Was no more than 30. But I tried. I gave him a good old college try, and I watched it. Was it an
actual video? It was just a short that you couldn't even get through?
It was a short.
Nice.
So I got through maybe no more than 30, but maybe 15 seconds of it. Could have been 5. I don't know.
Maybe the short should be shorter.
And he was talking about the movie, and he was trying to make some sort of the words. It started like, as he was talking, the words were almost cartoonishly flying by me. Like I just couldn't quite pick up what he was saying because it was just so loose and stupid.
Just like Constellation.
He was trying to make some, like Constantinople. Is that what those in the sky are called? The Constantinoples? Constellations? Constellations? Concessions. The concessions in the sky.
Yeah, right, concessions.
Brain dead dumb fuck, though, was trying to talk about the underlining meaning of the movie, and it was like, you know, how about this? How about you aren't the podcast that talks about what you think movies mean and what they reflect, and then I won't be the guy who talks. You know, your podcast can be the wearing pants that expose your ankles podcast, and where your friends jerk each other off about how funny you all think you are. And then my podcast can be the one where I talk about the movie. And you're thinking like, hey, my podcast has a hell of a lot more followers than yours does. It's true, all right? Because clearly there's a market for what I just described. But again, just stick to your lane. You can be the podcast of the exposed ankles, the weird hair, the dumb jokes, and the fake personality. That's A-okay.
Yeah, you don't need the movie thing.
Movies. It was some dumb remark he was making. He was all like, you know, I think that Oppenheimer really struggled with this bomb thing. That's the message I got from the movie. You know, it wasn't doing this whole like, you know, who's right, who's wrong kind of thing. It was more like, you know, this is a bomb being made and there's some repercussions to it, which I really like that aspect of the movie. I
thought the majority of his struggle was coming from the whole, how do I go through life, you know, swinging this 12-inch cock?
Yeah, honestly. No, but he's
the
not...
The bomb was the secondary story, so what the hell movie did he watch?
Fucking Andrew Schultz is a Philistine in a disguise, right? He can't pick up on the nuanced underlining beats of the movie.
The dude was fucking 3 women and no one knew about
all right?
it, okay?
He looks like that. All right? He weighed less than all of them. It's Cillian Murphy, all right? Yeah, sure. We get it, Christopher Nolan. Beautiful, bombastic blue eyes, all right? And a boisterous cock. Besides that...
Looks good in a hat. I'll give
Looks good in a hat. Yeah, can pull off a fedora. Look good in an army suit too. I kind of got pissed off when David Krumholtz was like, "Take the uniform off." I'm like, you know what? He looks good in the uniform, all right.
Yeah, I thought
he's
it was pretty
serving
cool.
his country. He should wear the uniform. Fuck you, fatty. All right, get out of here, Krumholtz.
Also, honestly, I kind of want to just start smoking cigarettes just so I can hold them and scratch my forehead, my ring finger, and look that cool.
We've lost so much in this society by being health conscious. Dude. We just all smoking cigarettes still.
Damn.
All right, maybe we'd all.
I'd become such an intellectual if I could just smoke all day.
Become an intellectual.
I could achieve something as big as Oppenheimer if I just smoked cigarettes.
You two could fuck 3 women at the same time.
I could have a 12-inch dick if I just smoked cigarettes.
That's the new Surgeon General warning. All right, we go full circle. You can't. They're saying. Remember in Mad Men, it was like we can no longer advertise cigarettes as being safe.
Yeah.
I doubt there's any legislation saying you can't advertise them for making your cock larger. I have a feeling that hasn't been written yet. That's probably one of those those Airbud rules. They're like, hey. All right, the dog can fucking play the game if the dog wants to play the fucking game. I don't see no goddamn rules and the dog can't play no goddamn game.